What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to another video. I am slightly under the weather, but make no mistake, don't let that fool you on how pumped and excited I am for what I am about to tell you in this video. Now, happy belated Thanksgiving. I have a lot of things. I have a ton of things that I am thankful for. One of which is you guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys who follow the videos, who have watched for a long time. We're gonna be doing some history in this specific video as well, and we'll get into all of that. We've got a new truck that I want to show you guys, but we've got to do a little bit of background. We got to do a little bit of story so it makes sense to you guys. Otherwise, it just seems like I went and got another truck that has no meaning, that has just another number in the fleet, right? And that is not the case whatsoever. It is probably the furthest thing. So before we get into that beast sitting right behind me, guys, again, just want to say huge thank you, huge appreciation to all you guys for all the support for all these years. Shameless plug, just kind of getting it out of the way. If you guys haven't already gotten entered for the latest giveaway truck, right here, 3rd gen G56 6-speed 5.9 Cummins. This week, and pretty much today is going to be about the last day for that specific chair. All entries that get entered today or the end of this week will enter you also for the truck, and we're going to pick a random order that is going to win that Viper chair that matches the rest of the powder coat color on the truck. So if you haven't already gotten entered, go get in at Wrenchworks.com. Every dollar that you spend automatically gets you entered to win this beast of a truck that we are currently building and will be done and sitting underneath the Christmas tree for one of you guys. So again, appreciate you guys. Let's get into it though. We've got a new truck that's sitting right in front of me that I am already just crazy about. And it seems so we drug this thing out of a shop. I am just over the moon excited for what this truck is going to do, the build for it, and just everything in between. We made the decision, I would say a week or so ago, to sell the 2nd gen burnout truck. So let's get into that real quick, because that's kind of leads into and sparks into that truck sitting over there. So the 2nd gen burnout truck is for sale, or we will honestly just part it out. So if you guys are interested, we are going to sell this thing for 25 grand complete on stocks, 30 on the JTXs, or a set of JTXs, let's put it that way. Why are we selling this truck? Now, we do still have the 1st gen burnout truck. That is on the short list of things to complete before FP 5.0, actually a long list of things to complete before FP 5.0, coming up in March. 1st gen burnout truck making a massive, huge comeback. The 2nd gen burnout truck has been amazing to us absolutely all year long. I have loved this thing, but really what I am after is a truck that can truly do it all. And that's where the new truck comes in. We were going to 4-wheel drive swap this truck, get a different set of axles for it, do some sled pulling. But really what this truck and the way that it's set up is going to kind of limit us is burnouts and sled pulling. It's really not set up to do any type of drag racing, any dirt drags, anything like that, where maybe an automatic trans would be a little bit more advantageous for some of that stuff. So really, it's been amazing. I just think that there's a better option with all of that work to do, and still being limited with what it can do. So the 05, let's get the 05. 05 is making a massive comeback here. We're going to get cracking on that thing very, very, very soon. UCC prep, all that stuff, billet engine, making a comeback. The 05 is kind of just way out here. The burnout truck is way out here, and where we want to land with something that can do some other drag racing, can do some dirt drags, can also do burnouts, can also do drag and drives, can also just do all. That is where this beast comes in, and we are going to call this truck Redemption. It has a lot of meaning to me. It is what we named our first ever build, our first 2.6 sled pulling truck. We named Redemption. way back in the day. It's got some very deep personal meaning, some spiritual stuff. If you want to just Google redemption, you will get a very good idea of what that means, and it means a lot to me, and it is just a perfect name for this truck. And I am so dang excited to build this thing. And really what sparked this and the 2G burnout truck is the 72 Fast Class. I'll say it right off the bat. The 72 Fast Class has so much excitement, so much hype, so much emotion and feeling behind it that I wanted to be a part of it. It's during UCC. If you don't know what that is, the guys over at Firepunk and Levon are putting on a very specific drag race class during UCC called 72 Fast. Everybody gets the same turbo. Everybody has to weigh 6,000 pounds or more. No aftermarket ECUs, which the 05 is an aftermarket ECU. There's a lot of stipulation that puts everybody on a very level playing field. Although people are going crazy, I probably will be one of those people who are going to go crazy, but that is not to take away from the point that this build is still going to be able to do everything across the board, and the second gen just doesn't really check all of those boxes. Even after four-wheel drive swapping it, even after all of that work, there is still so much more benefit to what we are planning to do with this truck. So redemption is coming in hot. We have our pass already we already bought our slip just in time for 72 Fast. And that is what our main focus is going to be here for the time being. We've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of work to do here in general. It sounds crazy, but honestly, everything sounds crazy until it's done and you have worked your butt off to obtain it. And all of this is no different. There's a lot of work to be done, but it's all up here, boys. I am so fired up. I am so pumped. And honestly, for the longest time, drag racing has just not been on my mind, has not even really checked it just hasn't got me fired up. I am not a bracket index racing guy. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't really do much for me. A lot of the previous drag racing builds, the Pro Mod, the Pro Street, which right off, those trucks aren't around. They have left the garage, and this truck behind me is what is going to take their place and has me more excited than I have ever been to drag race in quite some time. Yes, we are going to drag race the 05 at UCC. Yes, we are going to do UCC. Yes, we are going to continue to push the limits of the power making platform. But as far as some specific class drag racing and some things, nothing's really got me going except for 72 Fast. And again, we're not building this truck specifically for 72 Fast, but it will fit in extremely, extremely well for that class. And really, it may seem crazy, but it's for the first time in a few different years that I'm excited to do drag racing. And I don't want to keep repeating myself, but if I'm not fired up or I lose the fire or it's just like I can't. If I'm not excited to do it, I'm not going to continue to do it. And I don't care how far we're along. Hopefully that makes sense to a lot of you guys. I'll try to get down there in the comments and answer some questions. But let's get into the truck specifically and a little bit more detail on the build, the thoughts, the plans. Honestly, I already just feel very attached to this truck. The time that this truck is coming into play with a ton of other stuff that's going on and swirling around. I already love this truck. It's almost like it was fate and it kind of like manifested itself. A PXR 06 third gen regular cab long bed roller, honestly for an extremely, extremely good price. Really already kind of like torn down and set up for some racing. This thing is bare bones, and it's ready for someone to put their touch on it, and I feel like it's just perfect. I feel like it's perfect. Like I said, it's already a PXR roller. I mean, come on. I don't know if that really says my name anymore, but it's a 4-wheel drive, 3rd gen 06 regular cab. It's a 3500. And I don't know an absolute ton about it. Here is the back side of it. Does not have a bed. A lot of stuff has already been kind of like cut or stripped off of it. We'll kind of run down the whole thing. Let's just start in the back. Now, from what I'm gathering and what I can kind of decipher from the back, these sections of frame have actually been cut off and then like re-welded on. And if you look down the frame, like a lot of stuff has been cut out from the middle of this truck. Anything that has met the top of the frame here, you can see this has been cut out. This has been cut out. We go down the frame. A lot of stuff here on the other side, you can actually see it a little bit better. The shock mount has actually been kind of like cut off at one point right here and then re-welded. I think this thing had a flatbed on it because a flatbed kind of like rests right on top of here, and I could see that this may have just been in the way of where that was resting, And again, we don't really care because we are going to take this thing even further and strip it down and completely rebuild this thing. And honestly, we'll just get it out of the way. The Fire Punk appointment for the cage and most likely probably a 4-link suspension in the rear is already kind of like set in place, and we're going to be working with those guys a lot on this build, and going to be working with a lot of other people to make this happen. And again, just like you guys support me, and I thank you guys a ton, I cannot be more thankful for all the companies over the years that have stood right alongside of me, helping build these trucks, supplying parts with parts and knowledge. Everybody. I can't do it alone, and I don't want to do it alone, and I just appreciate all of the help over the years. Doesn't matter who it's from, but it takes an army, it takes a team, but we're going to be teaming up with a lot of amazing people on this build. So that's why really the next video to come will be stripping this thing down even further. So I think it had a flatbed on it. One thing that I don't really know or understand why it is like this. Maybe it's a 3500 thing, but I've walked around every single truck here on the property, and none of them look like this, and I don't understand why that the shock mounts in the rear axle look like this. Not that they're going to be staying, but I'm just so curious. So if you guys happen to know why they look like this, let me know. And again, maybe it's a 3500 thing, but if you look at the shock mounts on this axle, do you see how far pitched down they are? And the front one, or the other side, looks exactly the same. Now, on the Shorty, on any other truck that I'm looking at, and again, this brake line junction box is at the top. Our axle perches are supposed to be where they're at. Even though this thing has 2 leafs and it's lowered, it doesn't really mean it's sitting in the proper location. But these shock mounts, for some reason, they should be flat, and they are anything but flat. But if you're thinking like the axle tube, like that would rotate everything, and everything else looks normal. So like, is that like a normal shock location? Like everything. Let me just go show you. Let me go show you the Shorty. The 3rd gen. Like that thing's lowered more than this, and the shock mounts don't look like that. So I really don't know what's going on with that. So if you look underneath here, or maybe not. Let's see. Those are sitting flat, or for the most part, flat. And this truck, and again, not that it makes a heck of a difference, but it's got me so puzzled. So that's what the back looks like. There's no bed. There's an old transcooler that's going to go bye-bye. There's some more frame mount stuff that we have to cut off. I'm not really sure exactly what those are even for, but we are going to make this thing, or get this thing to fit in a lot of different classes across the board. And again, I don't want to repeat myself, but do all. This thing is so dirty. we have got some parts and pieces that we're gonna be putting on probably towards the end of the video, but I wanna kind of like give you guys the base of the truck. It has been sitting outside in some sun for quite some time, and whether or not some of this fading will come back or not, what we're gonna do with it, we'll get that buffed out, but it's overall not in too terrible shape. On the inside, there is not a whole lot going on. It is almost like this thing is just ready for its fabrication appointment and ready for an 850 cage. So we got the dual milk crate 5000s sitting in here. We have got a what looks like a 48 transmission harness in there, some miscellaneous mounts and stuff for the transfer case, transmission, passenger side seat, but we got the pedal assembly. It is already gutted, and the story behind this truck is kind of interesting. I was actually going to go buy another truck, basically exactly like this, but I would call it mint condition, on the road, not show truck, but I mean complete, very nice truck. And I was going to completely tear that truck down to what you see this truck is now. And it just, this thing, I scrolled one last time and this thing popped up, and I was like, there's no shot that this is a PXR 3rd gen. Already where I was going to tear that other truck completely down. And I almost would have felt bad because it was such a nice truck, and this thing is getting a cage. There's no doubt about it. This thing is getting fab work done. Like, it needs to meet the safety requirements for 72 fast and to go that fast. So I would have felt extremely bad. This thing popped up. I felt like it was fate, and it was 15 minutes down the road from me. So 15 minutes down the road. We actually scooped it up right before we left to go to Thanksgiving, and this is the first day back, and I want to get this, want to show you guys the truck, because I've been losing sleep over how excited I am. We have got a busted up, broken tow mirror, I think. Again, there's really not a whole lot to see. The one thing I will say that couldn't be more Greg is the truck already has cab lights on it. Inside the engine bay, let's get into that. Got quite a sweet motor inside this thing, or engine. Bare bones. Already pulled, already gutted. It has the brake line still hooked up, so the roller still has brake lines. Steering box, power steering pump, trans-cooler stuff, just kind of all chilling because that's all just, the system is still connected. We've got some firewall material that is still chilling, hanging out there. We've got a pretty sweet Pro Comp dual steering stabilizer sitting on a set of Laramie stocks. But that, my friends, I don't know why I get excited for things like this, but man, I am so pumped. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but boys, Redemption is coming back very hardcore in 2026 on all fronts. Let's put it that way. And this chariot sweet ride of mine is going to man, I don't even have words. I don't have words. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. I'm very excited for the future and everything that is going on and everything that this truck will do for us, and the good times and memories that we will have. We have got ourselves a drag race truck, boys, and not to say, again, I'm not saying the 05 is not that by any means. The 05 has been and always will be my baby, my first truck, the truck that will never go anywhere, that we will continue to bring to dyno events, and absolutely just continue to push the horsepower envelope even further than where it's at now. So this truck has some similarities, but will be very different all at the same time, if that makes sense. And the second gen is just not really completely suited to do that, let alone all of the work that would need to be put into it to take it to where we want it to, versus this truck is still a lot of work. But if I'm being completely honest, you guys know me in third gens, I would much rather do all of this extensive work to the new truck rather than the second gen, if I'm just being completely honest. So we do love the second gen, especially winning the last burnout competition of the year down in Florida with Cletus and the gang. And again, who knows if it doesn't sell, and who knows if we part it out, if we don't. I'm not sure the future of this truck, but I can tell you, I could not be more excited for the future of Redemption here. And I'm giggling like a little girl. But you know, I could never be more excited for a bare bones roller in my life. So there you have it, boys. Now that, my friends, is much better. I don't know what it was. I couldn't. This just didn't look proper to me. We got to get a set of proper 3G polished stocks on there. I had a grill laying around. I had some headlights laying around. I had some different cab lights laying around. So, you know, we had to spruce this thing up just a little bit. And in my opinion, we are already looking quite a bit better. Now, this thing is going to make some insane radical changes very quickly, but for the time being, if I'm going to look at it and work on it, you know, we might as well make it look, you know, somewhat decent. So that, my friends, is Redemption, and we are going to have so much fun with this truck. Like I mentioned, we're going to be working with the boys over at Firepunk very soon on this thing. So, like, you guys will see everything. I'm excited. I literally am losing sleep over thinking about every single little detail on this truck. So appreciate you guys a ton. We will see you guys in the next video very soon. The giveaway truck, make sure you guys go get entered for that. The green Illusion Shocker Viper workshop chair going workshop chair going to one of you guys. Sorry, I can't speak. I'm getting all clogged up. But anyway, guys, appreciate you guys. Go get entered for the giveaway truck. The next video on the giveaway truck, all of this will be completely on that, and you guys will see a finished product on that very soon. But make no mistake, that thing is going to be absolutely perfect and going home to one of you guys right before Christmas. So that's it. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next video very soon. See ya.